There comes a time in everyone's life when you are going to reach a crossroad. It's a fork in the road. It's a pivotal point where a decision must be made. And the outcome of that choice, it will affect the rest of your life. Have you ever had people that you thought was going to have your back and they did not? And just when you thought you were on your own, support came from like an unlikely source. Yes, I watched the Jamie Foxx special on Netflix. The name of it was What Had Happened Was, and I can tell you, after watching that special, he is a changed man. Has something ever occurred in your life where it has changed you? It has made you into what you are today. Have you ever been through a metamorphosis that has changed you into something new? Well, come on, cousins, and let's pod about it.
In a world fraught with confusion, one man will break his silence.
Oh yeah, you are tuned in to the funkiest show this side of the Pecos. Welcome one and welcome all to the Word to the Wise podcast with the exclamation point. Who me? I am Terry Patrick. I'm your tour guide and your liaison in this journey that we call life. Just trying to take you guys on a ride and maybe help somebody along the way. And every time that I do this, every time that I do one of these podcasts, I realize I may actually touch a soul and help them to be able to change their life. Just like my mother and father did for me. They came and they supported me. I'm telling you, sometimes even when I was wrong, they helped me to make better decisions. So let's give it up for Pops and Fat Mama. Oh yeah, got to give it up for Pops and Fat Mama for doing the best that they could with yours truly. Hey, have you ever been through something yourself that made you say, you know what, I got to make a decision right here, right now. You want to change your life. You want to change the things that you're doing. You put away those childish things, right? It's the maturity, it's the maturation process that happens. I've been through many changes throughout my lifetime. I've worn many hats at the same time, and I really feel that I'm still a lump of clay, a work in progress. I don't feel like I'm the finished product by any stretch of the imagination. No, I feel like I am still on the cusp of becoming something else, something brand new. I mean, that has happened to a lot of us. And sometimes life will send you through a lot of changes just to prepare you for something that is on the horizon that you do not have the foresight to be able to see. It happened to me. And when it happened to me, I was out in the middle of the desert. It's crazy that way the story is, and I know some people don't believe in divine intervention. Come on, cousins, everybody don't have the same testimony. They don't have the same story. But I was at a low point in my life, and something very miraculous happened to me. Now, it started 2 or 3 days before the actual event. And I was sitting out on the front porch of my mother and father's house. And I see one of the neighborhood homies come running by. And on the back fence, back then, where my parents' house was, it was miles and miles of nothing but barren desert. all the way to the next city, which is like Garnett or Desert Hot Springs. I'm sitting there, and I see the homie Lil Man. Lil Man came running by the house, and he just yelled something that was filled with ambiguity. I didn't really understand what he was talking about. He said, "Find it and give it to me," and kept running. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Soon after, police come flooding into the cul-de-sac, red and blue lights flashing, spotlight on. And I knew they were looking for Lil Man. I knew they were looking for him. But in my neighborhood, and with the police presence that was always ever present, you don't just sit out there on the porch. Why? You gonna fit somebody's description. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you about what we looking for. I went in the house, as I should, after the police came flooding into the cul-de-sac. So they looked around for a while. They didn't find the homie Lil Man. Yeah, it's strange because Lil Man was a big dude, and he was always one of those cats who hung out with older people his whole life. Yeah, so he was like way more mature than the rest of us who were like the same age as he was, but adversely, we had a homie Big Man who was smaller. So Big Man was little and Little Man was big. Don't ask me, because that's just the way it is. So a couple days go by, and I'm at a low point in my life. I had done some things the previous night that I'm not too proud of at all. Running them streets. Yeah, you could be out there in them streets and get caught up. And I had been through some things to where I was at my ropes end, I started even contemplating, do I even want to be in this life? What am I here for? I'm doing no one any good. I felt worthless. I felt like I had no worth, had no value. And I just took out walking, And a little backstory, I had been up for like 2 days. Couldn't get a wink of sleep. And I'm walking out there in this barren desert. Sun is beating down on me. And I'm talking about the sun is so hot. It's like 110, 115 degrees out there. And the desert is hot. The sun is hot. And I'm sweating profusely. And I find myself just collapsing down to my knees out there. No one else around. Just me, the tumbleweeds and the iguanas and everything else that's out there in the middle of this desert. And I reached up to the sky, and I'm talking to God, because I wasn't praying. I was just yelling for help. I'm like, God, if you're real, that's where I was in my life. If you were real, you gotta give me a sign, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if you do not. I don't want to be here no more, Lord. I'm ready to check out. That was where you have someone who is a hope to die person. Made me dangerous. I always tell people, yes, I needed prayer, but pray for me from across the street. Yeah, don't get too close to me. Don't you get exposed to me. Yes, because I felt like I was suffering from a spiritual emphysema because my soul couldn't breathe. Suffocating. Dying slowly. I'm like, well, why not just quicken the process? God, if you're real, say something, do something, be something. I gotta have something, and I gotta have it right now. Crossroad. Fork in the road. Where you got to make a decision right here and right now, and it's going to affect the rest of your life. And it was in that moment that I was just looking down, staring at the dirt, sweat burning my eyes, tears coming out, mingling with the sweat, and my face is just a sloppy mess. My life was even sloppier. And there it was. There, right in front of me. Handprints in the sand. I could see that someone had patted down this dirt. There were handprints handprints in the dirt. Now, 3 nights ago, little man ran by my house, said, find it and give it to me. The night before, I had saw little man. He said, did you get it? I'm like, get what? I didn't know what you was talking about. I ran in the house, man. I'm trying to get away from the police. I don't want to fit no description. He said, man, I had a shotgun out there. And they was after me, so I took it and I buried it and I kept booking. And I knew it was outside the back of your house, somewhere out there in that desert. And I saw those handprints. That's little man's shotgun in that dirt. Right where I collapsed and kneeled. Right where I was asking God, can you do something? Can you show me a sign? And it was in that moment. See, all it takes for anyone to be able to enact anything, you just need 3 things. Tools, desire, and opportunity. Say if I wanted to rob a bank, which I will not. That bank's money is safe with me. Well, I would need the tools. Say I had all the tools, and there are banks all over the place. I don't have the desire. Even with the tools, even with the opportunity, no desire, it won't work. No tools, it won't work. No opportunity, and it will not work. Put those 3 things together, and it will happen. Now, I got the tool. I got a little man's shotgun. I know it's in the dirt. I also have the desire. And I got the opportunity. There's no one around. No one cares. No one is looking for me. They probably wouldn't have found me for the longest anyway. Do you know what I mean when I say that I had everything that I needed and the choice was there? I was standing at a crossroad and I didn't want to be here anymore, and all I had to do was just dig my hands into that sand, but instead I just started pounding the dirt with both fists and I'm slugging the sand. And I tell you the truth, I had heard one word, and it said, rise. Rise. Now, if I said that in my own subconscious, I wouldn't use the word rise. No, I would not. I would say, get up. Stand up, Terry. Yeah, shake this off, dog. Yeah. Be a man. Stand on your own, too. I would have used some kind of euphemism. Rise. That word came and, boy, it snatched me straight up. It sent a joke through me. And yes, that word, just one word, it changed my life. And I've told that story and people are like, I don't believe that God will come down from heaven and do anything for anyone. No, especially a loser. Well, I submit to you the truth of what I'm talking about is it may have sounded like my brother Jamie. I believe God will speak to you through others. Yes, he will give you a word that you need. And that word saved my life. And I listened to Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, the comedian. Jamie Foxx was doing a special on Netflix. And the name of his special is What Had Happened Was. Here I am, I'm listening to him and I'm thinking he about to tell some jokes, right? Jamie's a very, very funny man. I love some of his stand-up, love his movies too. But in this opening, when he walked out, soon as he took the stage, he was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it, y'all. He's trembling with tears coming down his face. I knew immediately this is not your normal jokey joke, right? This ain't some comic, some stand-up cat about to give you some pre-rehearsed canned stuff, his new material. No, Jamie was out there bearing his soul. And he did that show in Atlanta. And he told him, Atlanta saved my life. Right, because he came down what Cat Williams called a mysterious illness. They didn't know what was wrong with him, but he found out The first doctor told him he was all right. Yeah, just go ahead. You'll be all right. And he also wound up going to a second hospital, and something about the fact that the homies that was around him, because he's like, man, I got this throbbing headache. I don't know what's going on with me. I just need an aspirin. And his homies, they didn't know what to do. The same very ones that was surrounding him. It took his sister and his daughter to say, oh, something wrong. His sister was like, something wrong with my brother. Something's wrong with him. And yes, she got him to the hospital. And they said that I believe the name of the hospital was Piedmont. And the hospital said, oh my goodness, we got to cut his brain open. Got to cut open his head because he has a brain bleed. Now, this doctor had the knowledge and the foresight, the tools, and the desire and the opportunity to help Jamie Foxx. And I never forget what Jamie Foxx said, that, he had lost 20 days. He don't remember. He remember asking for aspirin and then waking up in a wheelchair 20 days later. Yes, he was going through a very, very severe situation. And he came out of that coma. And when he did, he had to learn everything again. Have you ever been through a metamorphosis? Have you ever been through a single metamorphosis? Kind of like what Jamie Foxx had to go through. Now, we all know that what he was going through is not something that everybody will go through. Your metamorphosis may be different. But it may be exactly the way a butterfly goes through a complete metamorphosis, which means that its life cycle has 4 distinct changes. First is the egg. First stage of the butterfly's life. That butterfly is a small, round, oval egg. And then it turns into a caterpillar. See, it goes from the larva state into an actual insect. And that egg hatches into a larva, and also known as a caterpillar. And those caterpillars, they eat constantly. And then it's the chrysalis. That's when the caterpillar is fully grown, and it forms what is known as a pupa, a chrysalis, a shell where it undergoes that metamorphosis on the inside, and parts of the butterfly begin to form inside of the chrysalis, and then it turns into a butterfly finally. And that adult butterfly is going to emerge. It's going to have some soft wings, yes, and it's going to do what it can to pump that blood, pump blood into the wings, and then finally take flight. You may have been through something different, but similar to what Jamie Foxx is. That's special, man. I've never seen someone make people laugh, make people cry, make people smile, and also thought-provoking. It was, I wouldn't call it a spiritual experience, because he did have a lot of profanity in there too, a lot of dick jokes. But his daughter introduced him. And his other daughter came out there and played her guitar. I love that part. Because when he was in a coma, his daughter would come and play her guitar while he was in this catatonic state. And his life meters, or whatever you want to call them, they would spike. And the nurses over there at the nurses station couldn't understand it. But every time she would play that guitar, that he would come a little bit more alive. There are things that are going on in your life that are just the same, trying to reach you in your catatonic state. If you have ever found yourself at your end of your rope at your life's end, and you've wondered, what am I going to do? I don't feel like I can get out of this. I don't feel like I can win at all. I feel like all I do is take L after L and lose, lose, lose. When am I going to see a win? When am I going to see some success? When will I be victorious? When is it going to be my time? Just keep waking up in the morning. Yeah, and keep faithfulness. But even then, when all that success comes, people change. They go through a metamorphosis of a different state. They go through a different state. And I'm here to tell you that failure can teach you more than success can if you learn from it. If you learn from it, cousins, help me out, somebody. Or if not, you're doomed to repeat it over and over and over again. Jamie Foxx was successful and he forgot about his struggles. Said he had a conversation with God. And he talked to God like I talked to him out there in that desert. It wasn't no prayer with these poetic, flowery, lofty words and a bunch of adjectives and thou and these and none of that. It's like, help me, man. Help me. And God asked him, I don't know you. He's like, me, I'm Jamie Foxx. He's like, I don't know who that is. He said, Eric Bishop from Terrell, Texas. If you from Terrell, Texas, you know Jamie Foxx's real name is not Jamie Foxx. That's Eric Bishop. God knew him as Eric. But see, Jamie Foxx early in his career tried to get on stage a whole lot, and they had their feel of African-American men, so he changed his name to something that is gender neutral. Jamie can be a boy or a girl. Okay, and he used the last name Fox with 2 X's, and they would call him on stage just by seeing that name on paper, and he was able to get some mic time. He changed his name in order to be successful, and now he's living it, he's claiming it, and he had gotten to the point, man, where he had to really tell himself, that's a persona. You're Eric Bishop. God said, yeah, I know you. When the last time you been to church? See, he used to play the piano in church. When's the last time you served? And in doing so, he broke down. And he started crying, and he started playing that piano, and he got on stage, and everybody in the audience, I could see them, some laughing, some smiling, some crying, some praising. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. You gotta watch that special. If you have not seen it, it's a very powerful journey, not in comedy, in storytelling. It is the art of storytelling. Because we know Fox is a comedian. Fox is an actor. He's also an entertainer. He's a singer. He's a musician. He has all these talents. I'm a strong believer that everybody has at least one. Everybody has at least one talent, and no one has more than 7. Some of the talents that you have, they can cross-pollinate, dovetail into other things. I was born with the gift of communication. I have a way of being able to talk to people that they remember what I said. That's not talent. That's a gift. Yeah, but talent will beat the gifted when the gifted don't want to work hard. You got to work hard on your gifts as well. I have that same talent of communication. Don't you know that instead of doing a podcast or being a spoken word poet or teaching leadership development across America, I was just in Atlanta last week. Lost my iPhone twice and found it. That same communication talent, it can be used to be a preacher, a pastor. I've been mistaken for a pastor many a times in my life, but that same communication style, it can also make you the leader of an organization. I was president of United Steelworkers of America. Shout out to Local 8844. Long may it rain. That same communication talent can turn you into a politician. Just the gift of gab. It can also make you a pimp. Pimps have that same communication skills. So it's not much difference in talent-wise from a pimp to a pastor. How do you choose to use your gift? Everybody has one. And no one has more than 7. I take my proverbial hat off to Jamie Foxx. Thank you, my guy, for standing up there on that stage and bearing your soul. He said, I done messed up, man. Yes, I done did a whole bunch of things. And he said a lot of people told me that they didn't think I was me. They thought I was a clone. They said, I'm a clone. I'm not really Jamie Foxx. And he said, in a lot of ways, maybe I have changed. I believe him to be a changed man. He also said in the beginning everybody said, Puffy tried to kill me. He said, Puffy tried to kill me. And, and everybody kept saying that. And everybody in the audience was like, well, did he? Man, Puffy, that's pretty bad when somebody said they heard a rumor of you trying to kill him. And everybody's like, yep, that sounds like Puffy. Jamie Foxx went through this complete change, and he told jokes, he told stories, and he bared his soul. He showed his musical side. He sang songs. He had the crowd, the audience, and the television viewers who have Netflix. He had me right here because I love a good story. What's your story? And some people are like, yeah, I know you. I know you like a book. Yeah, but you don't know what page I'm on. I've changed. I've gone through a metamorphosis. You may have known the larva state of myself. You may have known me when I was crawling around, banging my fist into the dirt like a caterpillar, crawling on my belly. You may have known me when I was at my wit's end. But I tell you right here, right now, cousins, that I ain't what I used to be. I may be something different, but I am not what I shall become in the future either. There's a lot of different versions of me. Which one do you know? You say you remember me? You say you know me? Tell me, what version do you know? Okay? You don't know the whole story of me, and I don't either. I don't either. That's the beautiful thing about this journey called life, because it's going to take you through a lot of twists and turns. And it'll do it on a monthly, on a weekly, on an hourly basis. Hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in every week right here to Word to the Wise. You got to check out some of my previous episodes. I did live last time that I did my podcast, went live for Thanksgiving. We got Christmas coming up right around the corner, man. And every time that we do have one of these different holidays that are going on, I always like to say, you know what? Family is huge. But blood is thicker than water. Is it? See, you don't get to choose your family, but man, it's some people out there that will be your unlikely source of support. Because the people that you felt was going to have your back when you're in that moment of crisis may fail you. And sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back. Oh my goodness. Yes, a sad dog, man. It's a sad dog that won't pat himself on the back, right? Sad dog that won't wag his own tail, baby. Sometimes you got to dance like David. And you got to laugh just to keep yourself from crying sometimes. Keep going through it. And keep holding it down. Yes. And keep tuning in to this show. And if you know somebody who needs to hear what I got to say, then let them know it. Comment, subscribe, yes, and tune in on every single Wednesday. We're going to be right here doing it just like this, and I feel like we made another connection right here, like we go way back like Fat Crayons and Hot Wheel tracks. Oh yeah, it's always going to be tough times out there, but tough times don't last, but tough people do. It's a jungle out there, man. You just keep swinging like Tarzan, all right? No matter what happens in your life, just know that your cousin Terry over here on Word to the Wise, man, I got your back like vertebrae.
I hope you like the podcast and you really like the podcast.
Come on, be serious.
And you really like my podcast. Like and subscribe.